And this evening, I'm just going to invite you to just take some time for being in our body and relaxing our body. And so just allow yourself to first begin with just accepting or receiving the support of your cushion or your chair or the floor if you're laying down. And just noticing with mindfulness what it's like when you let yourself receive that support. You might notice a little softening or a little release, sinking into your chair or cushion. And just taking a moment to notice what effect that has on the mind. Like as you let your body just sink into the support, what happens with your mind as you allow yourself to receive that support? And this just points to our mind-body connection. The mind and the body are intimately connected. One often affects the other. And so if we relax the body, often the mind relaxes too. So this evening, I just invite you to begin with noticing your feet and your ankles, and just allowing your feet to just soften and relax. That might mean letting go of some bracing or tension, or it might be letting them sink into the floor, letting them be held and supported by the floor. And then taking a moment to just letting your lower legs relax and soften again. They might just sink into the floor. If you're sitting in a meditation position, or you may just release them a little. And doing the same for your knees, just letting your knees open and relax. If there's some pain or soreness in your knees, allowing that to just bubble off or release, rise off your knees. And just noticing how they feel when they're more open. And then taking a moment to just relax your thighs. And you can include your whole leg and feet at this time. Again, this might mean sinking into your cushion or just letting go of any bracing, tightness, or holding. Your legs work all day carrying you, just giving them some rest, some ease. And inviting your pelvic floor now, so your bottom, your pelvic area. Again, sinking into the cushion. Or just relaxing. Opening to the floor, to the cushion. And just noticing that your pelvic floor, your bottom is held by the cushion. So it can just relax and sink in a little and take the support of the cushion. And so allowing your lower body to rest. And then we extend this kindness up into our torso. Letting your torso receive the support of the back of your chair or the floor if you're laying down. Resting on your hips. If you're sitting upright, allowing your back to relax a little bit, to just let go of any bracing. And the same for your organs. If there could be an inner just letting them relax a little, letting go of that inner tension. and including the front of your body as well. Your chest and belly. No need to hold on to so much tension. And including your shoulders, your arms and your hands. Allowing them to rest in your lap or on your legs, wherever they're positioned. They too have worked hard all day. And just letting them take this moment to rest. They may feel heavier or more opened and relaxed. And including your neck now, letting go of any extra tension. Allowing your neck to just rest on top of your shoulders, your back and torso. And including your head now, letting it rest on your neck. You might have to move it a little to find that resting point. Where it sits with very little effort. And then letting go of any tension in your jaw. If there's any tension in your head, like you have a headache, just letting that rise off, bubble out the top of your head. And so your jaw is slacking, letting go, resting. And any tension in the top of your head just rising off. may feel energy rising off or heat, or it may feel like a pressure releasing. And now allowing your breath to relax. It may slow or soften. Chest opens. And there's just being here. In a body that is resting and opening. Taking a moment to just let our body rest and resource. Perhaps with an attitude of gentle appreciation for all that it's done for us today and always. So for this evening, you can mindfully, softly with your body, take a moment to go get some paper and a pen because we're going to do a reflection tonight, and I just want to be able to give you some time to write down what you find for yourself. So, in our exploration of how to become more free and happy and joyful, and to live an authentic life, the life we're called to live, I thought that it might be really helpful for us to take a deeper look, a personal look, at the 7 domains. And if I've referred to them before, there's some recordings on them that you can refer to. But the 7 domains are the building blocks of our life. And so there's 7 areas of our life that can go great, not go great, and how related we are with them and working with them really depends a lot on, or really defines the quality of our life. And so those 7 areas are um, your physical life, your cognitive life, um, your psychological life, emotional, your social and relational aspects of your life, your spiritual life, and your integrative life, kind of how it all integrates together and makes you you. And so, what I'd like to do is just kind of walk us through them and do a personal, we've talked about them before, but to take this time to do a little personal dive to give you your own template to work with. So, the domains are directed by the stories and the formations that we carry. And formations being, what we've referred to as like the inner child, younger parts of me, those memories that I carry. And so all of our domains are directed by the stories, beliefs, and the formations that are in the background. And so what I wanted to do tonight was explore that so that to free up a domain, to make it really healthy, you need to understand the blocks that are there, the old stories that might be blocking you, and then to have some kind of practice of release where you actually release that old formation. And when you do so, that's when essence begins to flow through that domain again freely and can express itself. Um, I would say it expresses you, your true nature, who you really are meant to be, not you stuck with your pain or your fears or your doubts or any of those kinds of defilements that kind of stop you from living a full life. So, what I wanted to do tonight is do a couple of reflections, two different reflections. And the first one is just going to be, we've done this before, where we do a mindful reflection. We go inside, I give you a prompt or something to reflect on, and then invite you to just come out and make a short note to yourself. And by doing this, what we're going to do tonight is work with our physical domain. So this is actually a really potent, powerful domain, and a lot happens here, um, which we'll get into as we go along. So what I'm going to do is just invite you to close your eyes in a moment, and I'm just going to walk through some different themes having to do with your body or your physical life. And I'm going to just bring up a theme and then ask you to just notice the belief that comes up or the story that comes up, or you might even notice a formation comes up. I might say something and a 4-year-old goes, I don't wanna, it's like, oh, there's a 4-year-old right there, right? So, and by doing this, I'm just gonna walk you through the different areas that affect the physical domain, and then you have your own personal map. And then we'll go a little deeper after that. So go ahead and take a moment to just put your pen down for a moment and close your eyes and get comfortable and just take maybe a couple of clearing breaths just to kind of empty out. You can maybe resource that body, your body that has relaxed a little. When our body's relaxed, we can hear it better. So notice what happens or what arises. Or maybe finish this sentence when I say, my body, my body. Notice what comes up. There may be a couple of sentences that come up. And then go ahead and take a moment to just write those down. And again, just staying mindful. Don't jump up in your head with a lot of thinking. You're just jotting down, this is what arose. You don't need to judge it. You have a lot of kindness and compassion for it. Okay, and the next one. my body in relation to health, or how healthy is my body? Just notice what stories, what voices, what happens in your body. You may have a contraction, or there may be a sentence. How healthy is your body? What is your relationship to being healthy? And then you can let that one go. And the next one is noticing my body is aging. My body is aging. And what comes up when you're contacted with that? And this is just for you to know your story. And then you can let that go. And what comes up when I mention exercise? My body and exercise. What's your relationship to exercise? I love it. I hate it. I can't do it. It's my life savior. Whatever comes up. And then you can let that one go and just quietly resting in your body again. What arises when I invite you to play in your body or express yourself through your body? Imagine yourself playing. How easy is that, or difficult is that? Can you be silly in your body? Can you dance freely? Or sing? And then you can let that one go. Again, just coming to rest in your body. And some of these answers may be, like I said, physical contractions or opening, or there may be words or pictures in your mind. Whatever arises is your map. So, resting in your body, notice what arises when I introduce being touched, being physically touched. What comes up for you then? What kinds of touch are pleasant for you or feel good to you? What kind of touch perhaps is uncomfortable or scary? hard to relax in. And you can let that one go. And if that's a difficult one, take a moment to just breathe out any tension. Just release and let go of that one. And I'd like you to now notice, do you live in your body or in your head, up in your head? This is a question about embodiment. Do you live through your body? Do you experience the world mostly through your body, through movement? Or are you someone who lives more up in their head, maybe cut off from your body? And letting go of that one now. Do you trust your body? Where do you trust your body? In what ways do you trust your body? In what ways do you not trust your body? This is kind of a question of being at home in the body or trusting that you can rely on the body. Some people feel very trusting of their body. Others feel betrayed by their body. And you can let that one go. And finally, what are you grateful for with your body? When you consider your body, what are you grateful for? Or your physical life? And notice how that feels. When you get in touch with what you're grateful for, notice what happens to your body, heart, and mind when you touch a positive experience with your body. And you can take a moment to write that one down too. When I'm grateful or in touch with gratitude, it feels like this. And finally, when we work with the domains, we're not all gifted or brilliant at all of them. We tend to be great at some, okay at others. We struggle with others. So I want you to just sit back for a moment and just notice when it comes to the physical domain, your physical life. I'm just going to mark some different levels of functioning or capacity. Notice, is this a domain that you're gifted in? Or would you consider yourself competent? Or would you say that this is a domain that you struggle with a lot? You may struggle with being in shape or sexual abuse or old pain or illness, chronic illness. Or would you say it's mixed? Like, it's brilliant and great in some areas, and then there's these couple of areas that I kind of struggle in. And so just taking a moment to mark for yourself, in this domain, I'm gifted, competent, struggling, or I'm mixed. Just really important to know that for yourself. And you can just take a moment to write that down so you can make just a little relationship with that. So this is your map. This is pointing to a number of different places. And what I'd like you to do is just take a moment here and read through some of the statements that you've said. And notice these beliefs that you have. They may be joyful, playful, amazing, fun in the physical domain. There might be pressure to perform or be perfect, or have a perfect body. There may be a lot of pain or even self-hatred, body hatred. Whatever you find, there's a good reason for this. There's conditioning. So just take a moment to look at these statements. Each one of these statements is a formation. There's a formation connected to it. It's a belief that you've carried for years. And if you remember when we did formation work and release work, one of the ways we kind of bubbled them out was to ask, if this could talk, what would it say? And sometimes you hear, leave me alone, or I'm scared, something like that. The statements you have here are the statements, the beginning statement of the formations. There may be a defended, gatekeeper kind that's kind of tough, like I hate this, or exercise is stupid. It might be kind of a tougher one. Or it might be a really vulnerable one, like I'm scared of this, or joyful. I love playing in my body. I love running. I love biking. I love swimming. There's like a little 4-year-old in there, very happy to be playing in their body. And so you can take each of these statements and deepen them down. If there's some blocks, you could take each one and deepen them down and find the formation and then release it. So we do this by, the first one is, if it could talk, what would it say? And you already have that statement. The second question is, how old is this voice? So if something says exercise is stupid, how old is the one who says exercise is stupid? How old does that feel, right? Probably not a 4-year-old. I don't think I've ever heard a 4-year-old say exercise is stupid, right? But it could be your 15-year-old or your 22-year-old, right? And then finally, are they standing in any particular place? The one who says exercise is stupid, where are they standing? They might be, in the gym at high school, and they just got made fun of at PE class, so they're never going to exercise again. So there's a formation or a memory if there's a block here. And you have the means to be able to go into that formation and that memory and release that block. And then stepping back into essence, asking, does essence feel this way? How would essence approach exercise? Chances are it would do so with freedom and curiosity and more embodiment. I know that, for instance, when I swim, and I can swim as Maureen Inc., or I can swim as Essence. And when Essence swims, it's a very different swim. It's quite embodied and quite beautiful. It's a very different way of living. So this is the first way. This is your map. This is a beginning map. If you struggle in this domain, or have pressure in this domain. You could be a great athlete. I've worked with amazing athletes who still suffer in the physical domain because they live with an incredible amount of pressure to perform. You know, I see that a lot. I live in a town, Durango, that's very athletic. And I meet lots of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who get mad at themselves because they can't bike the way they did when they were 27, right? So, so let me just now reflect the second way. And this is just a short reflection, okay? Your body is holding all these stories, and it's holding them in particular postures and tightness and bracing and all of those kinds of things. And this makes sense. You can look at somebody, let's say you're just walking down the street and you see somebody who's like this, and their face is slackened and they're just, you can make an informed decision about what's going on in that person's body and mind based off of their posture. So it's our posture and our body is holding all these stories and reflecting them. So one of the ways your physical domain is being executed is in the way you are in your body. And so I just want to take, we've done the ones where we go into a pain and I say, if that pain could talk, what would it say? We've already done that one. But I want to play with one for you tonight around your posture, because your whole body is actually holding your whole story. You are wearing your story. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to pick something about your posture that perhaps you wish was different. So maybe your shoulders curl forward, or you slump, or, you wish you sat up taller, but you don't, something like that. So just close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to take whatever that posture thing is. Maybe you wish your chest was more open and you could walk more freely through the world with an open heart and a big open chest. And I want you to take a moment to do that movement. So if your shoulders are up and you wish they were relaxed, let your shoulders relax and push them down. If you wish you had a more open chest, open your chest for a moment. And I want you to just notice what that's like, how familiar, comfortable, uncomfortable that is. And then go back to the natural posture that you usually have. So if your shoulders are normally up by your ears, go ahead and let them curl up to your ears. And notice, and you might do this a couple of times, 3 or 4 times, going back and forth. When you take on the posture that is normal for you, I want you to notice, if it could talk, what would it say? So I open myself or sit up taller, and then I take that familiar posture, and as I do, it says, why does it hold this way? What's it communicating? What's the protection? And then again, open up and notice there might be another voice saying, oh, I can't do this. I can't open my chest. It's too scary. And then there's a closing and it says something. Your body is talking to you. It's embodying the formations that you are carrying within. And this is true through your whole body. How you sit, how your shoulders are, whether your belly is in or held tight. whether you crook your neck to one side or the other, they all have something to say. They all are holding tender stories that deserve your love and compassion and kindness. So I just want to open it up for a moment for any questions, or anybody wants to share what they found when they changed their posture and went back to the old posture. And you can just unmute yourself. Just curious what this was like for you. Did it work? Let's put it that way. Did you notice a difference?
So when I would go to like recognizing the new way, like what I'd like to be doing, right? Like up taller and stuff. It's
Sure.
like it gave me more energy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then you go back, and then I just put more air in and more. If I felt more energy, so
Yeah, and when you went
ah,
back to the more collapsed version, what did it say as you were collapsing? Like it was in your
uh,
voice just there. You went. It was the,
I was like, oh crap.
there's the formation. So you could go into that formation, and chances are I'm going to say that's probably a gatekeeper because it has a little tougher version to it, right? And you could go back and say, so how old is that one who says, oh crap, As long as that formation's there, you're going to hold that posture. But when that formation releases, now essence gets to hold the body a little differently. Maybe a show of hands. How many people noticed a difference in their mind state, or the words, or something happened in their body? Okay, so a number of people did. And there's some sort of kind of, right? But and you can play with this more, and play with it on your own. You may find that when you do it by yourself, it's a lot easier to access. It's a little harder for us to do this stuff on Zoom, but just in the privacy of your own practice, you may find, the next time you find yourself slumping and you sit up taller, and then you can play with the slumping, you might hear a voice and you go, huh, what's that about? And it might be something like, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Tired of what? I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of my life. I'm tired of, wow, who is she? How old is she? Where's this tired one? And she might be there from when 20 years ago. She's been tired, or he's been tired, right? So I'll just tell you briefly, I was playing with this in my own body, and often my shoulders curl forward. That's one of the things my shoulders will do. And it was really interesting. I was working with one of them, felt a little tight, so I worked with one side first. And in that, it was really interesting. It was pulling forward, and when I tried to open it, it was leave me alone. I was like, okay, stretched it out a little more. And then it was, I don't want to be with anybody. Had a very tight gatekeeper. I don't need anybody. I'm going to just be by myself. I don't need anybody. And as I worked with that and released it, that was the gatekeeper. And then right behind it was this younger one. And it was from when I was about 10 years old. And she was hurt. She was hurt from all the kids. I grew up in a kind of tough neighborhood where people made fun of you all the time. That was kind of how they showed affection in a weird kind of way. It was like they would put you down. And she was hurt by all the times that people made fun of her. So she just kind of curled in and said, I don't need you guys. Never mind. And then I had not quite so tight on this side. And when I worked with this side, it wanted to open and hug everybody. It wanted to be in relationship, but it was curled because it was, what if I get rejected? I want to love everybody, but what if I get rejected? So it was just this posture. And each one had a different formation, right? This one was quite young, and this one was more like a teenager, middle school. And it wanted to be popular and it wanted to have friends, but what if I get rejected? So let's just not. and call it good. And this is really safe. And I'll just put my head down and nobody will bug me and I'll just hide. And that was kind of like how I walked through middle school, was kind of like this, you know? And as I release these formations, there's more possibility of opening and being authentic to who I really want to be and letting go of these fears that I've carried from middle school, 10 years old. I don't need to carry them anymore. And when Essence breathes into it, as I sat with Essence looking at each of those memories, Essence could look at the kids who made fun of me and say, they're scared, they're hurt. They do it to you because somebody did it to them. And Essence was not hurt. Does this make sense? And we've talked about this kind of stuff before. So, anyway, any questions or anything about this before we end? I just, what I want to do is walk you through each of the 7 domains so that you have a map. Keep this piece of paper, make your own little booklet, and you've got a map for your physical. We'll do cognitive, we'll do your psychological, we'll do your spiritual, and then you'll have your own little map where you go, oh, there's all the beliefs I need to let go of. There's all the blocks, they're right there. And that's the path to your freedom, to a more alive life. So, any questions or anything before we finish tonight? It's all incredibly clear. Is it clear? Does it feel clear? No. Yes, no. Sort of, kind of. Some people yes, some people no. So if you're not clear, you can email me, or you could also go back and look at some of the earlier recordings, and there might be one in there that clarifies for you something on. If you don't understand formations, go back and look at formations. If you don't understand release, go back and look at the release ones. If you don't understand essence, go back and look at essence, just so that you're equipped, so that you can unblock yourself. Okay. Why don't we end with just some mindful intention to just share the merit of what we're doing here? Yeah. So you can close your eyes or look gently at the floor. And may our practices here and our willingness to look at our own stories and blocks lead us to freedom and a fully alive life, a fully awakened life. And may that ripple out beyond us to touch all the people we come in contact with. And may this work find its way into the world so that all beings can release their blocks and their 7 domains and realize the life they're meant to live. So thanks, everybody. Wonderful to see you all. And if you know anybody else who wants to do some domain work, you can invite them to come play with us. So take care.